All right, welcome back everyone to John McKinney Racing YouTube channel. In my last video, I showed you that I was using these spherical lower ball joints, and I showed you how the travel, well, that's full travel. So just imagine this being in your lower control arm, and that's all you get for travel, right? And as you saw on the vehicle, it didn't amount to much. In fact, it limited the downward travel to 1 inch. Couldn't even get it to ride height. So I did buy these conical spacers for higher misalignment, but I won't even bother putting the bottom one in, but it still doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Because if I pull this up, see? So it's still not doing much for me, which is fine. I only have this ball joint installed in the right side right now, so I just got to go out and use my air hammer to pound this $100 ball joint out, which is going to destroy it, but that'll be fine. Lessons learned. But what I want to show you is that I ended up going with the QA1 ball joint, lower ball joint for the Camaro. You can see the part number right there. This is billet housing. It's rebuildable. You can set the preload on it, and you can see how much further that lays over. And it's very, very low friction. If you look on the bottom there, see those two holes right there? Those are locating holes. This cap comes out, the center comes out, drop the pin out, put a new pin in, new cage, everything. So once I get this housing installed in the control arm, all I need to do is every once in a while go out and adjust the preload on the bottom, and there's a tool for that. When I go out and install it in the car, I'll actually show you the tool, but this is set from the factory. It's zero end play, moves freely, and as you can see, it lays way over compared to, if I can get this in my hand. That's at full tilt on both. So you can see the extreme difference there. What's interesting to note here as well is that this pin is a ½ inch longer than stock. What that's going to do is it's going to push the lower control arm down a little bit, but when I put it at ride height, it actually lowers the car a ½ inch. So I have 2-inch drop spindles. This will take it another ½ inch. And then I was able to find, so Speedway Motors actually makes rebuildable ball joints as well, but I had already purchased these before I realized that. And I found that, so QA1 does not make a 1 inch longer pin for this lower ball joint. They only make stock 100 thousandths longer and then 500 thousandths ½ inch longer pin, right? But I went on to Speedway Motors. Oh, here's the tool actually. I was smart enough to put it in here. So you can see this tool right here corresponds with the pins in there. Use a 1-inch wrench, take the cap off. And then there's an inner hex tool that has a hole in it to clear the Zerk fitting. And it locates itself in the center, if you can see that hex in there. So the tool locates itself in there like that, okay? Put that on like that. Now you have, what this is for is, let's just say that I wanted to just go set the preload and get it at 0. I would simply just loosen the cap and then adjust the inner until this is at 0 end play, up and down. And then you hold this with a wrench, and then you tighten this down so you set the cap without disturbing the preload. So when you buy these ball joints, make sure you buy the tool. And I'll get the part number for that later. But today I'm going to pull out, I'm going to remove this from the car and install this, okay? So here we're in the garage. Just wanted to show you the ball joint that I removed before. Unusable. And I cut the stem off thinking I could use something to try to hammer it in the center. It's just painful. And that's why I'm using the QA1 rebuildable ball joint now, because once I get the housing in there, if anything does go wrong with that ball joint, I can rebuild it. I can replace everything in there. So yeah, so I'm gonna get to it. One thing to keep in mind when you're doing this, you want to have this control arm supported, and I'm using a motorcycle jack that I converted to a transmission jack years ago. About 20 years ago, I owned a couple Harleys, and I bought the motorcycle jack to be able to do work on them and modify them and do whatever I was doing to them in maintenance. But now it's a transmission jack, and right now it's a support for my lower control arm so I don't destroy it and I have something to press against. And I'm using foam under there to keep this from getting trashed. So I'm going to remove the shock and I'm going to start hammering this thing out. Well, even though I time-lapsed that, I didn't need to after all. Still, you know, marked it up. Can't use that. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't see the point. Yeah, but that thing came right out. Let's make sure this is going to work. And that's not going to work. Huh. Well, that's not good. Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah. All right. Well, looks like I'm going to be looking at Speedway Motors, see what they've got. They said this would fit, but it doesn't. So, this is knurled. This one is not. And you should not be able to just slip it in there like that. So you can see that that has a smooth body on it. So back to the drawing board on that, but at least I have a place to start. And once I get that figured out, I'll be back with another video to hopefully put in a ball joint that's going to fit. So more on that later. All right, well, thank you for watching, and another big fail. But, you know, the point of this whole video series is not so much to show you perfection and show you that, you know, everything goes right every time. You know, I need you guys to know that I'm learning this stuff just as much as I'm trying to teach it. So, you know, sometimes they say a part fits and it don't. So I got to find one that does. And when I do, I'll put it in there and I'll show you how it works, and hopefully it'll be great. But until then, keep subscribing, keep hitting the like button, pass the word around. I'm not gonna, you know, be able to share with you every success, but it looks like the last couple of videos have been failures, but in the long run, when it turns out right, then it's good. But I need you guys to understand that, you know, just because you set out to do something doesn't mean it's gonna go right every time. It's not gonna go right the first time, and that just means you gotta work through it. So I gotta go find some better parts. Not saying the QA1 isn't good, because I've had success with their shocks. You know, a lot of people say that they don't work for certain things, but they work for me. And so I gave their ball joints a shot. Maybe I'll call in tomorrow and see if there was a mistake on the ball joint, the way they made it. I don't know, but I'll figure it out. Until then, like and subscribe, and we'll see you later.